Hey, it's Mr. Keys, and in this video we're going to take a more advanced look at matching melodies to chords. The first thing that we're going to look at is this chart. It shows the chords of C major, all 7 of them. It shows the notes for each chord, and it also shows the avoid notes. Now, avoid notes, what that means is these are notes that can't go inside of the chord or can't be played alongside with the chord. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, C major doesn't have an F, and that's the avoid note for C major. So how does that even make any sense? Well, I'm glad you asked. The way that it makes sense is we can actually add extra notes to all of these chords. So C major, what this says is we can add any note from the scale. So the key of C major is all white keys. We can add a D, we can add A, we can add B. We just can't add F. And the reason why is because it clashes with the E of the chord. And the E, which is known as the third of the chord, is a very, very important note. It's what makes C major major. It's what gives it that major sound. So F clashes heavily with it because it's a semitone above. And anyways, that's why we shouldn't add it. So if our melody was F, we could never use C as a chord when the melody note is F, if that makes sense. So let's take a look at a more concrete example. Our first melody note right here is C. So what this means is any chord that has a C as an avoid note, we're not allowed to use. So we can use C major because it doesn't have C as an avoid note. As of last video, what we could use was C major, F major, and A minor because they all have C in them. Okay, and that's very good. But now we can add extra chords as long as they don't have C as an avoid note. So C major is good. D minor is also good because its avoid note is B. E minor is not good because one of its avoid notes is C. F major is good like before. G major is not good because C is its avoid note. A minor is good just like it was before. And B diminished is not good because C is its avoid note. All right, let's take a look at another example. So right here, for example, in bar 2, our melody note is E. So let's say we're doing 1 bar per chord. Our melody note is E. And what we have right here is we can actually add any chord. We can add C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, and B diminished, because none of them have E as an avoid note. So that gives you a lot more possibilities. Before, in the previous video, we could only add C major because it has an E in it, E minor because it also has an E, and A minor. But now, all 7 chords are at our disposal. And this is why what I said in the last video in terms of all these other notes outside of the first note not really mattering that much. And we'll clarify a little bit more because it's not that they don't matter at all. There are some rules still that we have to kind of go by, but we'll do that in a future video. So hopefully you understand a little bit about how this works. Now, I'm not going to play these chords in the more simple way. I'm going to kind of show you what this sounds like when you add chords that don't have those particular notes in them. So I'm just going to go through this and choose a bunch of chords, and you'll see them on the screen. So I just went through a bunch of different chord progressions. I played through a couple times. And you notice that I was using all kinds of chords that we previously would not have been allowed to use. And it sounds fine. The melody works with it. And so, this is something for you to experiment with. And so hopefully that made sense and you learned a lot. See you in the next video.